Hi there, I'm Matt from Burton Waters Boat Sales here in Lincoln. Welcome to another video of one of our latest listings, this time a Adagio 40. It's something slightly different than what we usually sell with the Merry Fishers and the sports cruisers that we sell. This is a boat that we've known for a little while. We actually took the boat in part exchange sort of 18 months or so ago, so it's the second time we've sold it. If you don't know about Adagio, they're actually built in Taiwan. Follow similar lines to the trader style of boats that are also built out there. And as we go through the boat, you'll see that especially inside the boat, the build quality with the woodwork is exceptional. So obviously it's a trawler style boat with a white hull, and the hull's in pretty good order, no sort of major bangs or anything along those lines. The current owner hasn't used it a huge amount in the time he's owned it, mainly for staying on it and having a drink on, but hasn't done sort of any serious cruising in it. The boat's been kept a few hours away from Burton Waters. We collected it by water and brought it down here, and it performed well. The owners had this sort of netting put onto it, which can be easily taken off. But the access to the boat is either up through the bathing platform, but also you have got access through the side gate. So you've got to step up, and then the rail here splits open, and you can get up onto the side deck, and that's both on the port and starboard side. So we head further aft now and head inside the boat. The boat does have the full cockpit enclosure with the bimini that can stay up. So we've taken the side panels off just for the video. Before we head on, we've got a really good size bathing platform on here. So when you are going through any locks or getting on and off the boat from the stern, it's an easy place to step off from, and you've got grab rails everywhere. You've got the escape hatch for the aft cabin, so it lets a lot of light in there. Good ventilation as well if you needed it to. So as we head up into the cockpit, obviously with it being an aft cabin boat, it's very high, which is great from a visibility point of view. You've got the aft seating and this really good sized table as well. It's a Korean worktop, it's very, very nice quality. We focus on this helm position to start with. So it's got two helm positions. Obviously it's got So on this boat's got two helm positions, obviously an internal helm and also the cockpit helm as well. Quite a nice driving position actually. Got obviously a big ship's wheel. The boat is fitted with a single engine. It's a single Yanmar 315 horsepower diesel engine. We'll show you access to that. The access to the engine bay is fantastic. It's not a quick boat. It's obviously a trawler style boat. So top speed will be probably about 10 knots or around that sort of area. It's a category B rated hull and it's very, very seaworthy. But I say it's a cruising speed is anywhere between sort of 5 to sort of 8 knots really. They're saying flat out about approximately 10 knots depending on sea state and conditions really. Everything's replicated from inside up to here. So you've got a Raymarine E120 chart plotter with integrated radar. And then underneath this one here, you've got your autopilot. And you've also got both bow and stern thrusters. So from a manoeuvrability point of view, it handles very, very nicely, even for quite a big boat here. You've got gas bottles just located in here. Gas is in there. One of the real nice features on this boat as well is the side decks. So you can get down both sides, but they're very, very safe. You've got really wide side decks and you've got a grab rail that runs all the way along, and then also one on the coach roof as well. So from a point of view of getting around the boat, it's very, very comfortable. You've also got this radar arch that's in place at the moment, but this is actually can be lowered on this hydraulic ram. So if you are looking to keep it on the inland waterways, as I say, that can be lowered nice and easily. When the boat came down here to Burton Waters, we've got a relatively low bridge here, so it was lowered for that purpose. And as I say, it keeps your air draft down. The boat has got a boat safety certificate, which is valid till 2027. So if you are looking to keep it on the inland waterways, that's a big plus. So we head down below now. And as we go down below, this is where you see some of the quality of the build. The woodwork in here is beautiful. I say, and all curved, and it's in very nice condition, the woodwork, I've got to say, especially for a 2008 model boat. The boat's ideal for a liveabord or a long-term cruiser really. The Galley is huge on it. So just underneath here, you've got 3-burner hob and gas oven just below. You've got your double sinks. Again, all Corian worktops, really heavy. You don't want to drop any of these lids on your toes. And again, tons of storage everywhere in the galley. And you've also got this really good sized fridge and freezer as well. So moving on to the saloon now on the Adagio 40. So you've got this L-shaped seating area. Upholstery's in okay condition. Not necessarily to everyone's taste, but as I say, it's certainly in okay condition. But you've also got these 2 stools as well that pop out. So if you have got guests, let's say, you can move the stools out to add a bit of seating, but it doesn't take up too much space. If there's just 1 or 2 of you on the board, there is storage beneath the seats as well, and engine access is below the floor, which we'll come on to a little bit later. The boat is fitted with diesel heating, which has outlets throughout the cabin and the saloon area as well. If we move on to the lower helm, there's no helm seat down here, which I've always found slightly strange, but as I say, I guess people stand or mainly drive from the upper helm. You have got a Raymarine E120 plotter again, and everything's replicated from up on the flybridge. You have got the side door as well, so it makes easy access up onto the side deck if you are short-handed. And then you've got, again, there's tons of storage throughout the boat really, so you've got storage just beneath the steps here. We'll head on. The accommodation on here is fantastic, I've got to say. And this is actually, will be classed as your guest cabin. You've got a really, really good sized double berth up the front here. And you can see the quality of the woodwork and the detailing that's up here is very, very good. You've got loads of standing room at the end of the bed. Normally with the bed extending out, you don't get a lot of space, but so on here you've got plenty of room to get changed. And as I say, there's storage everywhere. You've got really nice hanging locker. It's got some odds and sods in here at the moment, but as I say, plenty of storage and little cubby holes dotted around, as well as the shelving overhead as well. You've got a really good sized opening hatch overhead, which lets in a lot of light, and you have got a couple of portholes on either side as well. So moving on to the day heads now, you've got an electric toilet in there which goes into a holding tank, and then you've got your separate shower head as well. And there's a curtain which pulls all the way around on the rail, so you can keep some of the heads dry if you are using it as a shower room. But plenty of standing room in there. As I say, you're not compromised on that in that respect at all. If Finn turns the camera around now, as I mentioned earlier, this is ideal for a liveabord. Has got you've got the washing machine. Obviously a must-have for any liveabord. The boat has got quite a bit of history as well, so there was a box full of manuals and history for the boat, as well as a toaster as well. Engine access is very good, so you can actually access the engine bay through this little door if you need to access the front of the engine for any reason. The boat's very, very highly spec'd, so it's got both an inverter but also a big generator as well. So we'll lift up this engine bay and we'll show you in there. So we've opened up the engine bay now on the Adagio, and as you can see, both sides of the floor open up. The access into the engine bay is fantastic. You can just about get down both sides as well and in front of it. So to do any work on it is as easy as you can get, really. So as I've previously mentioned, this is a Yanmar 315 horsepower 6-cylinder diesel engine. The hours are approximately 1800. In addition to this, you've also got down here a Whisper 8 kVA generator. Along with the generator, there's also a Mastervolt 2000 watt inverter as well. Your batteries are under both sides, under these lockers on either side. You have got this netting as well, so if you are putting anything in the engine bay, it's a nice place to store things that you don't need necessarily all the time. We're going to head down to the aft cabin now, and this is what you would call the owner's cabin, really. One of the real nice features of obviously an aft cabin layout is obviously if you do have guests up the front, you get a bit of privacy. As you can see, you've got, again, good sized double berth down here, and there is storage everywhere, to be honest with you. Just over on this side, you get a really good sized hanging locker. And in this space here, you've got a proper cavernous storage area, really, where you can chuck extra covers and cushions and all that sort of thing, really. As I mentioned earlier, you've got that bigger escape hatch at the back, which lets a lot of natural light into here. And then if we go on to the ensuite, you do have your separate ensuite for the aft cabin, which again gives a bit of privacy from any guests that you might have on board. Again, same as the forward head, you've got the electric toilet in here, which goes into a holding tank. You've got your sink, but you've also got a separate shower compartment in there, which is great. Again, if you're liveaboard or spending a long time on board, you don't have to keep using the marina facilities. I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better cabin, to be honest with you, on a 40-foot boat. As I say, the bed on here and the storage on here is fantastic. So as I've mentioned, the side decks on here are very, very comfortable. Got really high rail, very safe to get around. So if you're, as I say, if you're short-handed, so it's nice and safe to get around. Up the front, you've got your electric windlass with your deck switches up here. You've also got a really nice space up the front here. There isn't any cushions, but it could easily be made. I say you could make a nice use of space, quite flat up here as well. Thanks for watching this video on the Adagio 40 that we've got on brokerage here in Lincoln. We're open 7 days a week, so if you did want to come and take a look, you're more than welcome. As I mentioned earlier, this boat is a 2008 model, 2007 build. It's priced at £149,950. And I was just reading the owner's manual, so a few stats for you. The max speed is 10.5 knots, so cruising anywhere between 5 and 8 knots. Fuel tank wise, you've got twin 795 litre tanks. As I mentioned earlier as well, great for a long-term liveaboard or long-term cruiser. Holds 454 litres of water and 189 litres of waste in the holding tanks. So what more could you need? As I mentioned, we're open 7 days a week. If you do have a part exchange, we are happy to consider one, depending on what you've got. So feel free to give us a call.